Patriots vs. Buccaneers, Week 10, 2025. Full integrated analytical report offense, defense, trenches, composites, takeaways, executive snapshot, game identity. Tampa Bay leaned into play action and RPO adjacent structure with the ball out on schedule and selective deep shots outside the numbers. New England played a more horizontal, possession game with slot/underneath volume and RB checks, then mixed in a few high-leverage verticals to the boundary. Trench tilt. New England ran it better, more yards after contact per attempt. Kilty. New England ran it better, more yards after contact per attempt, cleaner run fits, while Tampa Bay protected better on pure dropbacks. T-help was effective, center, and RT handled most one-on-one S. Coverage texture. Coverage texture. Tampa's underneath/second level was the quiet winner. Servosia Dennis and Tykee Smith erased TE/RB outlets and triggered quickly on short and breakers. New England's back seven produced several individual wins, notably Spillane and Mapou, but had spacing issues versus Tampa's TE seams and RB angle/swing combinations. Tampa Bay offense, passing direction and depth. Mayfield's chart shows a classic buck split. Intermediate/short outside, right was money, TDs and efficiency, with limited risk. Between the numbers, lower efficiency on 10 to 19 throws, so Tampa largely avoided forcing digs versus hook/curl droppers. Deep shots were selective. When taken, they tilted left/outside and came off PA or condensed sets to manufacture one-on-one S. Concept/pressure profile. Play action and screen, families graded best. No screen/no PA sequences were merely serviceable. Kept clean split was solid. Under pressure they contained negatives, few true negatives. Ball out approximately Y.7 that. That lines up with Cade Otton chip/flat help and RB scan rules reducing direct hits. Receiving room. Cade Otton was the drive glue, strong receiving grade, plus high pass block grade. Rare TE dual utility. He worked intermediate middle/, right once and down chain moves and chipped edges before leaking. Emeka Egbuka provided vertical stress deep/intermediate, outside in, and helped clear space for Otton and Rashad White. Rashad White gave Tampa their behind LOS and short right outlet game positive Y, A, C/REC. Steady first down conversion on angle/swing/option. Tez Johnson sprinkled short left/behind LOS touches when Any rolled the nickel toward O. TTON/E-GBUK, a Tez's quick game punished cushion. Run game and OL. Volume was modest, but efficiency improved when Tampa created TE/wing surfaces and ran mid/outside zone at the nickel. White's chart shows short and behind LOS receiving complementing runs, that is, boxed looks, who check to swing/now. Pass pro. Graham, Barton C and RT room were sturdy in true pass sets. Barton's strike timing and anchor trimmed interior PRW%. Tristan Wirfs unsurprisingly graded, well overall. Tampa was happy to isolate him. Otton elite pass blocking grade, functioned as a sixth protector on heavier looks, decisive in keeping Mayfield on schedule. New England offense, passing direction and depth. May's direction grid shows short/intermediate between numbers where the volume lanes NFL average to plus efficiency, fueled by Demario Douglas option/choice and Hunter Henry sit/seam. Outside left intermediate and a boundary vertical hit to Kyle Williams were the explosives that kept Tampa honest. Deep over middle/right was comparatively light, respect for Tampa's post safety, and the underneath buzz from TYKE/Winfield. Concept/pressure profile. Play action boosted May's grade. Screen was a neutral stabilizer. Kept clean, efficient. Under pressure, high drop-off TTT rows, scrambles/throwaway spikes, and Tampa converted a handful of late downwinds into punts even without gaudy sack totals. Receiving room. Demario Douglas was the top any receiver by total grade. Short/short center and behind LOS were efficient, plus a clean intermediate middle conversion. Stephon Diggs, productive short/medium with one deep left chunk. He still drew coverage gravity, opening Y ISO lanes for Henry. Kyle Williams, the shot element, medium right for the explosive TD caliber play, minimal usage but high leverage. Hunter Henry, mixed results, positive behind LOS screen/slide, but two intermediate middle targets were contested/low EPA. Trevion Henderson, One behind LOS catch, RB pass game largely safety valve this week, run game and OL. Any rushing efficiency, TB, more total rush yards, better YCOA, and ELU on the primary back, the line generated cleaner first-level displacement on duo/insert and GH counter. Pass Pro. Mike Onwenu posted a strong pass block grade. Morgan Moses serviceable on the opposite side. Interior variance showed up in a couple of leaky snaps LG, reflected in maze pressure splits, and late down, hurried throws. Jack Westover FB had a tough day as a receiver targeted short right, low grade, and limited effect as a pass protector. Tampa Bay defense. Coverage vs receiving. Servocia Dennis, WLB, and Tykee Smith F, S/slot headlined with upper 70s coverage grades. Dennis closed crossers/option routes. Smith squeezed short middle and first window digs. Antoine Winfield Jr. added the typical range/finish. Jacob Parrish SCB held up on slot outbreaks. Matchup tape stamps from the coverage versus receiving tables. These Demario Douglas, mostly controlled at the catch point, limited YAC on slot/flat. These Hunter Henry. Dennis plus LB help generated PBUs and no explosives. These Kyle Williams. One big medium right strike allowed, otherwise capped. Pass rush. Balanced pressure by committee, high teens pressures, low sacks with Chris Braswell, Yaya Diaby, Elijah Roberts, and spot wins from Vita Vea, true pass wins % popped, despite modest volume. Real impact, forcing longer TTT in NE's non-PA game and flushing May off landmarks on 3-yard and medium. New England defense, coverage versus receiving. Robert Spillane graded as NE's top cover LB, with Marty Mapou and Jalen Hawkins providing solid support. They limited RB checkdowns and rallied to Otton's flats after chips. Vulnerability pockets. T seam intermediate right and boundary go when Tampa set it up with motion/stack. Those appear in the O, T, T, O, /E, G, B, K, direction grids. Pass rush. Jack Gibbins and Elijah Ponder led NE's pressure ledger. Overall pressure total in the mid-teens with 2 sacks. Edge setter discipline was good. True pass rush, win % was middling, hence Tampa's decent kept clean split. Trenches and phase interplay. Chief AB run blocking TB run fits. NE created better first-level movement and YAC lanes. TB's DL was stout versus with a gap duo, but gave a few B gap creases when the back bounced behind pulling guards. TB Pass Pro, NE Pass Pro. Tampa's TE/6-man protections plus Barton's interior anchor kept Mayfield cleaner on high-leverage downs. Hidden yards. Tampa's TE chip/flat and RB angle/swing functioned like runs, boosting success rate without inflating rush totals. Composite using your glossary framing. I'm aligning to your glossary constructs TDV, PRB, CDS, BAEOV. With screenshots rather than raw play logs, I'm characterizing directionally rather than posting precise decimals. PRB Pass Rush Balance Index. TB. Positive. Edge/overhang wins from Braswell/D. I plus interior singles from Vea produced pressure without heavy blitz reliance. NE. And slightly negative to neutral. Pressures came, but win % concentration wasn't high enough to tip the index without dialing up more 5-man pressure. CDS coverage disruption score. TB. Above average. Multiple PBS. Few penalties, first window denial versus slot/TS, and low YAC allowed to Douglas/Henry in the short middle. NE. Neutral. Good LB landmarks and a couple PBUs, but susceptible to the seam/over slot and the boundary vertical when Tampa time PA. BAE box advantage efficiency. NE. Positive. Better YCOA and ELU. Consistent first-level displacement on duo/counter. TB. Slight negative. Heavier emphasis on passes as run substitutes. Actual designed rushes were less efficient. TDV true defensive value. TB. Quietly strong. Coverage plus pressure synergy on money downs. Limited explosives over the middle. NE. Mixed. Sound tackling and occasional pass rush wins, but targetable seams, and one boundary explosive raise the allowed EPA on key sequences. OV offensive vertical efficiency. TB. Positive. A few well-timed outside right/left verticals plus intermediate outbreakers off PA. NE. Neutral. One boundary shot Williams plus scattered intermediate wins, otherwise lived underneath. Player tiers game context. Impact/value TB. Cade Otton, Graham Barton, Tristan Wirfs, Tykee Smith, Servosia Dennis, Emeka Egbuka, Rashad White as receiver. Impact/value knee. Demario Douglas, Robert Spillane, Marte Mapou, Mike Onwenu, Morgan Moses, Kyle Williams as the shot element. Exploitable tendencies and forward-looking calls. 1. Attack any seam/slot fade window. Tampa's blueprint worked. PA from 12-13's personnel, chip release by TE, and a slot fade/off stack shot at the nickel. Teams with a Y plus vertical slot can replicate it. 2. Force TBLBs to play with, then hit cutbacks. Any's best runs came when stretching TB laterally pinpull, G8 counter, and cutting into vacated B gaps. 3. Make Mayfield hold the ball with mug and bail. Any's pressure was honest. Simulated pressure's mug, a gaps, bail to Tampa's glance/option windows would stress Tampa's PA protections and muddy first reads. 4. Match Douglas with true nickel plus buzz safety. When Douglas had free access underneath, Any's success rate spiked. Shading a safety to jump the first and breaker while pressing outside reduces those free yards. 5. Force Any into true dropback on 2 and in 7+. That's where Tampa's PRBI advantage showed fewer PA tendencies and more predictable 5-step timing for the rush. What actually swung the game state, non-obvious. TE Pass Pro value. Otton's elite pass block snaps changed Tampa's third down math. Fewer hits, more on schedule throws. Slot leverage. Dennis/Smith vs Douglas/Henry in the short middle kept Any's underneath game from turning into 8-10 spurts. Selective verticals. Volume. Both QBs avoided constant deep spam. Tampa simply timed theirs better boundary/right, tying them to PA and motion to manufacture clean looks. One-line summary is useful for your trend sheets. TB offense. PA-driven, TE-assisted pass pro, boundary/intermediate shots. RB is extension of run game. NII events. Slot/control with Douglas plus occasional boundary shots. Better pure rushing efficiency. Pass pro variance inside. TB defense. High CDS and short/intermediate middle. PRBI positive via committee. Limited big freebies. NE defense. Solid LB play and tackling seam/boundary windows targetable off PA. PR win % needs more juice or more sim pressure.